Hey guys, so today we're gonna cover a topic that I think is one of the most requested topics in music theory, especially for like a beginner level musicians or somebody who's like trying to play in a worship band or just someone who wants to like accompany themselves for a song. And this topic is seventh chords. I feel like triads is something that like when people begin to play an instrument, triads is something that like you get right away. But when it comes to seventh chords or extended chords, this is when it gets a little bit more complicated and people start asking, well, what is this? You know, how do you differentiate? How do you recognize them or construct them? So this is what we're gonna do today. Let's start. So when it comes to seventh chords are simply four note harmonies. So you know your triads, right? Your triad is a harmony that consists of three notes. But a seventh chord is when we just decide to add a fourth note, okay? And we want to create a little bit more interesting harmony. But it's not just a random note. Let's see how we build seventh chords. There are 8 different kinds of seventh chords, but today I want to focus on 5 of them because those are the ones that we use the most. So to build the seventh chord, we're gonna start, like I said, with a triad, and then we're gonna add the seventh on top. And you have different kinds of triads. So the first one we work with is the major triad, and we're adding the seventh on top. And that's the major triad with a major 7, and it's called a major seventh chord. And this is the first seventh chord we learn today. The next chord, it's again a major triad, but we're adding a minor seventh on top, and it's called a major minor seventh chord or a dominant seventh chord. Next chord, we are now working with a minor triad and adding a minor seventh on top, and it is a minor seventh chord. The next chord, chord number 4, it's a diminished triad with a minor seventh on top, and it's called a half diminished seventh chord. And the very last for today is a diminished triad with a diminished seventh on top. See? And this chord is called diminished seventh chord. Okay, so now we actually can look at the keyboard to understand how these chords look and how they sound. And the first one is the major seventh chord. It's basically a triad, major triad, with added major seventh. See? This is a major seventh. By the way, guys, I'm building all the chords starting with the note C, just so that you have an easier understanding looking at the intervals and the differences between these chords. The second chord is a major minor seventh, and it's built through major triad with the added minor seventh. See? It's also called a dominant seventh chord. The third chord we looked at was a minor seventh chord, and it's built through first creating a minor triad and then adding a minor 7. Minor 7. The fourth chord is half diminished, and it's built through first of all creating a diminished triad and then adding a minor 7th. And the last chord for today is the diminished 7th chord, and it's built through first creating a diminished triad and then adding a diminished 7th. All right. And these would be the lead sheet symbols that you're most probably gonna find in your music charts that you're gonna use for worship songs or just regular songs. So my next suggestion would be to actually learn these chords, to memorize them, to understand how they build, or how to recognize them in the piece of music, and then to begin to incorporate that, because it will just, from my own experience, I can tell you, it will elevate your music. There's nothing wrong with playing just triads, but there's something happens when you begin to incorporate seventh chords. It's just a different harmony. It's so pretty, and usually people notice it, and it immediately makes your music sound more professional and more advanced. Here's an example how it could sound different if you just played triads. And again, guys, there's nothing wrong with playing triads, but it's just nicer when you can incorporate seventh. That would be something with your triad. Let's say you sit in the church, you improvise during a prayer or some transitions. Okay, that's a one option. Or you can do something with the seventh chords. You know, just a little thing like that, but it's already gonna create a difference. All right, guys, I hope it was helpful. I hope you actually going to begin to use this, and God bless you. I will see you in my next video.